Emily in Paris Season 4, Part 1 picks up from the cliffhanger finale of the previous season, in which Camille revealed that she was pregnant with Gabriel's kid. This truth bomb was thrown during Camille and Gabriel's planned wedding, in keeping with the shenanigans of the program. To exacerbate the situation, Camille also declared that Gabriel still had emotions for Emily, which led to Alfie ending their relationship. To her credit, Emily managed to prevent the tension between her and the other characters in Paris from getting worse by concealing Camille and Sophia's relationship. Camille disappears for a brief period of time in Emily in Paris Season 4, Part 1. Emily discovers Camille at Giverny, where she has fled from her inability to confront Gabriel, Sophia, or the truth of her pregnancy. Emily and Gabriel eventually resume their romance after Camille and Sophia get back together, but not before Alfie formally calls things off with Emily. At work, tensions arise between Mindy and the fashion line's apparent heir, Sylvie, after Sylvie decides to assist a reporter with an expose about Nicolas de Leon's father in the vein of the Me Too movement. The first 5 episodes of Emily in Paris, Season 4, mostly take place in Camille, Sophia, and Gabriel's little apartment. Despite having a baby on the way, the 3 adults are managing to keep their complex relationships together in some way. Sadly, Sophia reaches a breaking point and makes the decision to return to Athens. She left Greece, after all, to make sure Camille was all right. The artist had no intention of moving abroad or taking on the role of co-parent. After the split, Camille becomes stressed and decides to get checked out by the doctor. The doctor asks her a few standard questions and then advises her to check Camille to make sure everything is in order. The next scene is then cut to in Emily in Paris at a cafe. Camille indulges in a cigarette with her companion. Of course, the biggest revelation is that she was never pregnant. She had been led to believe differently by the false positive result on the pregnancy test and the cessation of her menstruation due to stress. Even though she gets a chance to tell Gabriel the truth at the very end of the last episode, Camille chooses to keep it to herself with the support of her buddy. In the climax of Emily in Paris Season 3, Emily enlists Bruno Gowry's assistance in putting Gabriel's restaurant on the map for a Michelin star. Coincidentally, Marianne, Lucy's ex-partner, works as a purported Michelin inspector, visiting establishments that have received stars to make sure the standards are still met. Marianne offers Gabriel some guidance, saying that although his restaurant is doing well, he still needs a better pastry chef. Gabriel spends a great deal of time, money, and energy trying to heed Marianne's instructions, but in Episode 5, it all comes to nothing. Luce takes up the responsibility of making dinner reservations for Sylvie's husband's birthday after she forgets to do so. He calls Marianne, who is once again his partner, in an attempt to secure the coveted reservation at the Michelin-starred restaurant. When it comes time to pay, the dinner takes a turn. Marianne begs the server to cover the cost of their lunch, threatening to withhold a star in response if they refuse. Nevertheless, while at the restaurant, a real Michelin investigator learns that Marianne was let go a year prior for insider dining. Gabriel decides that the Michelin star is unattainable in the end. The first half of Emily in Paris's final episode presents a new client who is promoting the skincare line Cadience. The substance is allegedly part of a Korean cosmetic regimen meant to give one's face a glass-like sheen. Emily, Sylvie, and Luke seize the opportunity to promote the product right away, but Julian, who was recently rehired, finds out the truth about Cadience during a sample demonstration. It appears that the exact same product marketed as lubricant was presented on the French version of Shark Tank a few years prior. They have an opportunity to be honest about the product's origins, but Emily chooses to lie, and Sylvie follows suit out of concern that Emily has rubbed off on her. The love triangle between Emily, Gabriel, and Alfie in Emily in Paris Season 4 appears to end abruptly during the masquerade ball. Even though Alfie appears eager to try again, he pulls off his mask when he sees Emily and Gabriel having a private time and walks away without saying anything more to Emily. However, in its 4th season, the show delves into different romantic dramas. In the end, Sylvie's decision to speak out against Louis de Leon as a sexual predator in an interview is a sign of vulnerability and strength that strengthens her bond with Laurent. Even though Camille and Sophia get off to a great start, Sophia is driven out of the house by the thought of having to share child-rearing duties in Paris and locate an apartment. After all, the artist didn't exactly sign up for a family and an international relocation, and Camille didn't indicate that they would give up on their preferred location. Even after Marianne started lying, she and Luke continued to be a strange relationship. Even if Mindy's bandmate Benoit still seems like a prospective love interest, Mindy's love for Nicholas, her boyfriend, finally grows when he finally stands up to his father. Part 2 of Emily in Paris, Season 4, must feature Mindy's Eurovision narrative. Early on, the story point looks like it will take up a significant amount of time, but by episode 3, it is entirely absent. Since the plot was hinted at in the previous season, hopefully Emily in Paris Season 4, Part 2 will carry on the story. Not all of the storyline is abandoned, however. Alfie disappears following the masquerade ball. Considering how Alfie and Emily's professional lives overlap, it's very strange. Emily has a lot of work ahead of her in the second half of Paris, Season 4. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.